Retirement isn't just the finish line, it's a new financial chapter. But here's the part no one tells you. The stakes in retirement are higher than ever. You're no longer building wealth, you're drawing from it. And now every decision has more weight and less room for error and more lasting consequences. And here's the truth. Some of the biggest financial mistakes I see, they don't come from poor spending or wild investing. They come from smart people who didn't realize they were doing the wrong things at the wrong time. Whether it's taxes, income timing, investment decisions, or even generosity, retirement has hidden traps that could quietly erode the future you've worked so hard for decades to build. In this video, I'm breaking down the 7 retirement money mistakes that could seriously damage your financial future and how to avoid every single one of them. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Danny Perro, Senior Investment Advisor at CG Wealth Management. I've been working for over 20 years with retirees across the wealth spectrum, from cautious savers to high net worth professionals. And I've seen some of a handful of mistakes that can derail even the most disciplined plans. Avoiding them can mean the difference between just getting by and thriving in retirement with confidence. Let's get into it. Mistake number 1, underestimating how long you'll live. One of the most dangerous assumptions in retirement planning is that it only needs to last 20 years. But statistically, how many Canadians, especially those in good health, will live well beyond their 90s? Some will cross the 100-year mark. Yet I see people building retirement plans around the idea that they'll be done by 80 or 85. That sounds logical until you realize your portfolio might need to support you for 3 full decades. That's not a slowdown, that's a second lifetime. This mistake usually shows up in 2 ways. Number 1, spending too much money too early and running the risk of running out. Number 2, spending too little because you're afraid to use what you've saved. Both outcomes are avoidable, but they start with the same solution. Plan for longevity, not averages. You don't want to be financially healthy at 65 and financially trapped at 88. The best retirement plans extend your income curve, build in flexibility, and prepare you for long, active, and fulfilling retirement, not a compressed one. Mistake number 2, being too conservative with investments. This is one of the most common and most costly mistakes I see, especially in the early years of retirement. Here's how it happens. You've spent decades saving and building your nest egg. You've hit retirement, and now the goal is to protect what you've earned. So you shift your portfolio into low risk, low return investments, thinking, I can't afford to lose money now. But here's the problem. You still need your money to grow because inflation doesn't retire when you do. If your portfolio earns 2% and inflation is running at 4%, you're losing purchasing power, even if your account balance looks stable. Over 10 or 20 years, that quiet erosion can become a real problem. And the kicker? Most retirees aren't just spending income, they're drawing from capital. If that capital isn't replenishing itself, it shrinks faster than you expect. So what's the fix? You don't need to swing for the fences, but you do need a portfolio that can balance security with smart growth. This often means a mix of income generating assets and diversified investments that are aligned with your time horizon and your cash flow needs. Retirement doesn't mean avoiding risk at all costs. It means understanding which risks matter now and managing them intentionally. Mistake number 3, taking CPP or old age security without a strategy. When it comes to CPP and OAS, most people approach it with one question: when can I start? But the question you should be asking is, when should I start based on the bigger picture of my retirement plan? Taking CPP and OAS too early, as soon as age 60, can feel like you made a smart move. You want to get access to your benefits as soon as possible, right? But doing that reduces your monthly CPP payout by sometimes up to 36% compared to waiting until age 65, and even more if you compare to deferring it until age 70. On the other hand, CPP can significantly boost your income for life, but it also means you'll need to fund more of your early retirement years from other sources. This is where strategy becomes essential. There is no one-size-fits-all answer. The right choice depends on things like your health and expected longevity, whether you're still working part-time, your cash flow needs, your tax bracket and other income sources, and whether you have a spouse and want to coordinate benefits. Taking CPP or OAS isn't just a timing decision, it's a tax and income planning decision. And getting it right can mean the difference between a retirement income that works for you and one that creates tax friction and unnecessary strain later. Mistake number 4, ignoring taxes in retirement. Here's the hard truth. taxes don't retire when you do. In fact, they can get even more complex. Many retirees assume that because they're no longer earning employment income, their tax bill will drop automatically. The reality is, retirement income is often made up of multiple sources. For example, RIF withdrawals, CPP, OAS, investment income, and rental income. Each of these are taxed differently. And without a smart withdrawal strategy, you can find yourself in a higher tax bracket than you expected. Even worse, your OAS could be partially or fully clawed back if your income crosses a threshold, which is just over $90,000 per year. Here's what becomes a real mistake. Too many people withdraw from their RSPs or their RIFs without coordinating it with their other income or future tax outlook. Others delay drawing on registered investments for way too long, only to be hit with a massive mandatory withdrawal after the age of 71, when your RSP is forced to be converted to a RIF. So what's the solution? Tax efficient withdrawal planning. This means strategically deciding which accounts to draw from first, RIFs, TFSAs, non-registered accounts, when to trigger withdrawals to minimize taxes across the entire retirement timeline, how to keep income below clawback thresholds, how to structure income so more of it stays in your pocket, not the government's. Smart tax planning isn't just about saving a little. It can preserve tens of thousands of dollars over the course of your retirement. Mistake number 5, giving too much too soon. Let's be honest. Many retirees want to be generous, whether it's helping adult children with a down payment, paying for a grandchild's education, or giving financial gifts to the loved ones. Retirement is often seen as the time to give back. And there's nothing wrong with that until generosity turns into jeopardy. Here's what I mean. I've worked with clients who gave away significant amounts in their early retirement years because they felt they didn't need it right now. But what they didn't account for were future healthcare costs, inflation, market dips, or simply the reality of living longer than they expected. Suddenly, that early generosity becomes a source of stress later in life. They had to reduce their own lifestyle, limit their travel, or even consider downsizing. Not because they made bad investments, but because they gave away their margin for safety. The intention was right, but the timing was not. Here's the smarter approach. Plan your giving. Don't guess. Build generosity into your financial plan so it supports your goals and doesn't compete with them. That might mean setting annual gifting limits, using a TFSA or non-registered account to build a family support fund, delaying larger gifts until you're confident your long-term income needs are secured. Remember, helping your kids is admirable, but helping them without risking your own future is responsible. Mistake number 6, not updating your estate plan. You've spent decades building your wealth, saving, investing, protecting what you've earned. But if your estate plan is outdated, incomplete, or missing altogether, everything you've built is at risk of being mishandled, taxed inefficiently, or tied up in the courts. And here's what I see all too often. Wills that are over 15 years old and no longer reflect current wishes. RSPs or insurance policies with outdated beneficiaries, sometimes even listing an ex-spouse. No powers of attorney in place, leaving families scrambling if mental capacity is lost. Assets not structured to avoid probate, resulting in delays, fees, and public court processes. Estate planning isn't just for the ultra-wealthy. It's for anyone who wants control over how their wealth is passed on. And it's about more than money. It's about peace of mind for your family. An effective estate plan includes a current will, a coordinated set of beneficiary designations, a power of attorney for property and for personal care, a tax strategy that minimizes the final bill to CRA, and in some cases, the use of trusts, charitable giving plans, or insured solutions. Failing to keep an estate plan updated is like building a beautiful home and then leaving the front door unlocked. A strong plan protects what you've built and ensures your legacy reaches the people and causes that you care about the way you intended. Mistake number 7, not having a real financial plan, just a portfolio. This is the silent mistake, and it's the one that often hides behind spreadsheets, statements, and assumptions. A lot of retirees believe that because they've saved diligently and invested well, they're set. But here's the truth. A portfolio is not a plan. A portfolio tells you where your money is. A plan tells you where your money is going, how long it will last, how long it will be taxed, and how to make decisions when life throws you curveballs. Without a plan, here's what can happen. You can withdraw too much or too little. You can make tax inefficient decisions that slowly chip away at your wealth. You hold back on enjoying retirement because you don't know how much you can actually afford to spend. Or worse, you assume everything's fine until it's not. And then by then, your options are limited. A real retirement plan includes a sustainable income strategy, tax coordination between accounts, investment allocation aligned to your cash flow needs, contingency planning for health events and market downturns, and ongoing adjustments based on your life, not just market conditions. Retirement isn't the time to, quote, set it and forget it. It's the time to build a strategy that adapts with you, because having a great portfolio without a plan is like having a plane with no flight path. It might look good on the runway, but where is it actually going? Retirement should be the most rewarding phase of your life, but only if you've built on the right foundation. These 7 mistakes, they're common, but they're not inevitable. And more importantly, they're fixable. So you don't need to know everything about taxes, timing, or investments, but you do need someone in your corner who sees the big picture, understands your goals, and knows how to bring it all together. That's what I help people do every day. If you're in retirement or heading there soon and want to make sure your plan is as strong as your portfolio, book a time with me using the link in the description below. Let's look at where you are, where you want to go, and make sure every dollar you've worked for is working just as hard for you. Because retirement shouldn't just be safe, it should be intentional, confident, and lived to the max.